Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever 2, the Netherlands edition, where we're now looking at what we built in the last episode, a brand new double harbour area to where we're now able to accept, distribute and transport all different kinds of goods within the Amsterdam region. Now, things are looking very interesting. We did a lot of work in the last episode to really expand our shipping network, and what we got set up is the ability for these ships to make money going both ways. Now, it's a little bit of a long-winded exercise, but basically what I've done is I got the ability to pick up stone here in the quarry, deliver it at Amsterdam, and then the ships that currently bring the food and fuel here, when they drop it off and go back to pick more up, they then pick up the stone and then transport it all the way up to here, which it gets turned into bricks, to which they can then bring back brick, stone, and fuel. That was a big mouthful right there. It's a little bit long-winded, it's a little bit OTT, but basically it allows them ships to make money going both directions. Now, it would be a lot more efficient if I just had a ship pick up the goods here, sail it all the way up to there. Would make a lot more sense, right? But it's just another way in which I can make those ships make more money. Also, for us to really stress test how this shipping system is going to work. Now, what I need to do in this episode is I need to increase the amount of ships on these lines, because we really are investing into the shipping industry to be able to transport more goods. And once we get the bricks coming over here, at the moment, it's only really going to be for Haarlem. But there is a few cities around that do require bricks, like Leiden, Warden right now requires it, Amersfoort requires it, and so on through the area to which we can distribute it. So it's another main integral kind of vital commodity that we're going to need to distribute to these towns. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start by creating or selecting these lines. So the stone here, I'm actually going to literally double the amount of ships on it. Might seem a little bit OTT, like I said before, but I got to get these numbers shipped. I got to get these boats filled to the brim. I got to make sure we can ship as much goods as we can. Now, as opposed for this line here, I'm going to also add more ships to it. And we've already got 16. I'm going to duplicate it so we got 32. Again, it seems wild, but we need this being filled to the brim. I need to create this river here, which I'm not quite sure what this river's called here, but I need to create this as the new Suez Canal right now. That's what I need in the Netherlands, boys. That's what I need. But also today, we're going to also extend to some new cities, which is going to be vital and very important for us. So guys, if you are enjoying this series so far, please make sure you smash the like button down below. Subscribe if you are new around here so you get notified when more episodes do come out. But right now, things are about to take a very, very, very interesting turn. Now, I want to slightly move away from this area a little bit. I'm going to leave it to just get on with what it needs to do, and then we'll come back and solve some problems in the future. Now, what I want to do is I want to extend some of these lines coming out right now, splitting to go into different directions. And what we're going to look at is setting up these four towns here, onto the existing train lines, and maybe have to create a brand new train line as well. So when we look at it, we've got a passenger line coming from Zaandam all the way to Amsterdam, Hilversum to Amersfoort, which is then going to go to Veenendaal, if that's how I pronounce it. I do apologize, I get these names wrong, guys. Veenendaal, and then it's going to turn to go up to Apeldoorn. Guys, I apologize, okay? I know you are going to be rage quitting with my pronunciation. That's where that line's going to run. Now, the line, we're going to create a brand new line from Rotterdam, which is going to share this station here with that line, but instead of turning to go that way, it will then go into Arnhem. Right, okay, you see where this is going? So 2 lines connecting here. Then we're going to create a third line that goes from Amsterdam to Hilversum, which comes off this here to turn to go to Harderwijk. So basically, I need to create 2 new lines, extend 1 line to connect up 4 new cities. This is going to be huge because these all require food, brick, fuel, all stuff that I'm going to be producing and delivering to the Amsterdam harbour. You see why this is important before we start creating our cargo distribution network? Also, I'm going to throw this out there right now. Next episode, we are going to look to work with Rotterdam and create goods, which means I need plastic and I'm going to need steel. We're going to sort this out in the next episode. And that means we have 2 major industries either side of this peninsula, which we should be able to utilize all the rivers to distribute even more goods. Oh, it's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. Right, allow that to do what it's got to do, because we've got so many ships right now that need to come out and then sail away. That's going to take some time, okay? That's going to take some time. So what I think we should do first then is look towards implementing the station on each one of these towns. So this one, we'll start in Vienendaal right now, and we'll get to buildings. We need passenger station. We'll do, we need 4 platforms, and I reckon I'm going to smack bang in the middle. I could utilize the full length here. Now this is going to be quite a big station, quite an important station, I should say. So I'm going to destroy half the city just to implement this in, unfortunately. Oh, that is very, 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 very painful. Now, which side do I utilize as the main line? Actually, do you know what? I don't think there's going to be one that's more important than the other. I think they're both going to be important because one's going to turn to go into the opposite direction. So, if anything, boys, they're technically both the main lines. All right, bring you to there and then continue. They're both technically the main lines. So, if I run this to here and run you to there, we're going to run this so far down to about there, and then bring it in, and then bring it in. So we kind of have to bridge the gap between the platform, unfortunately. That's what we have to do. And because I've now learned the correct way to do a double slip, guys, and you are all... I remember when I did an episode when I got confused with double slips and I was creating the wrong variants of them. And then I created the right variant, and everyone was like, hallelujah, you don't realize how good that now feels, Soniac. You damn fool. Right, we got there in the end, guys, okay? We all got there in the end. Double slippy slips, baby. That line is going to run down to the kind of the left lane, and the right lane is going to run into there, if that makes sense. But I'm going to have to obviously make sure that they run perfectly aligned to it all. Now, at the same time, this line here is going to turn with it to run at again the same space with it, which then kind of makes me then question, actually, we've got another line here that we could maybe bring down to match into it. So maybe that's the line I kind of bring down from Amsterdam to Utrecht to there. So it actually could be an additional line that runs in. Ooh, we've got some... We're spoiled for choice, okay? We're going to be spoiled for choice right now. So if I just bring this straight, because ultimately I don't know where it's going to pretty much run at this moment in time. So if I just run it completely straight right now, there we go. And we need to kind of bend it into there. So keep this running, and at some point they will meet and match. So I reckon we delete you back a bit, and delete you back to about there. Now, can that maintain the speed? It can. So that is perfect for us there. That'll run directly into there. So that line runs beautifully. And that comes all the way from Rotterdam. Brings a tear to your eye, doesn't it, guys? It brings a tear to your eye. Now, this needs to turn in and connect to it as well. So I'm wondering if I just delete back by a tad bit more. And if I went from here to bend that in, I'm not sure how far we're going to have to take this. So if I go from about there and then run you up, not quite. I don't think I'm going to win either way. So it's a case of just suck it up. Just suck up the bend, right? So if I go from there, that's good. I mean, I'm not going to stress too much about the loss in speed there. I won't lose sleep over it, is what I'm saying. Right, there we go. In. Nice little Y junction there. Beautiful. Which allows us to now have all these lines combined onto this one main line. And then we've got to run this. So the outer side here is the main line. So if I just run that out, and if I can make this go straight until it meets into it, so we know that the slippy slip, the double slip happens here. Okay, that's the end of it. So as long as that connects to it at that point, that's all it needs to do. So running straight. Okay, and then we should then initiate the bend, which it maintains its speed. That's perfect. So these lines run beautifully for us. Would you look at that, boys? Would you look at that right now? Where two lines become one. Right. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Anywho, right now. So this just needs to merge into here. This just needs to merge into there. And because we can't do the double slips, we can do the single slip. If that's what you want to call it. I don't know what you would even call this. Crissy crossies. That's what I like to call them, right? The crissy crossies. I've now extended to the one town city very, very easily. So in reality, I can have a line from Rotterdam going directly to Veenendaal. I could have a line coming from Amsterdam to Hilversum to Amersfoort to Veenendaal, which we currently do. And then I can have another line that comes from Amsterdam to Utrecht all the way to Veenendaal. So it gives me the possibilities, but it's a lot of lines running down here. And this is why I said in the last episode that Veenendaal here could potentially become quite a big transport hub. Now from that, we've got 3 lines coming in. So in reality, you need 3 lines coming out. One can go to Arnhem, one can go to Apeldoorn, one can go to Nijmegen. Right, guys, you're going to need to help me right now with these pronunciations because I am shockingly bad. But it gives us the ability to split those 3 coming in to 3 going out into different directions. That's what's important about this. That is what's going to be important. And the more we can crisscross the lines, the better the connectivity in the transportation network. Right. Great. So let me now just very, very loosely bring this out. So we're going to maintain that the right-hand side here is... Oh, too much slope, apparently. Not possible? What if I do this side first? Right. Somehow that then worked. Not going to question why, but it worked. It worked. Bring you to there, where I should now be able to instigate the double slip. Right, so, yes, 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 and yes. Very good, boys, very good. So run you down to there, run you down to there, run you down to there. Beautiful. And obviously one goes into here, one turns to head in that direction. So that's one of the 3 cities now done. Beautiful. I'm going to delete this back a bit right now because we do need to allow this to then start turning to go in this direction. So now all 3 of these cities are going to have only one line at the moment go to them. So this becomes a little bit easier to then implement what I need to implement on these. Right, I'm going to delete you, unfortunately. I'm going to turn the ownership of the road off. And I'm going to allow you to go in a straight line. I'm also going to then set up my train station. Where is it? There we go. And let's see. So do I go in the center? I'm going to go... oh, you fool. Let me pause. You fool. I'm going to go in the central area here. Is this too long right now? I don't feel like we need a station that long for this area. If I... Actually, if I bought this road out here, and let's say I bought that road out there, is it possible to squeeze a station between these 2? Ooh, not quite. But what I can do is lead it to there, delete you, and pull you out there. And then bend this in. Like that. So that's where that station's going to run here. Very good, very good, very good, very good, very good. Okay. I need to also think about doing the building. Right, we got to do each of these stations individually. I'm just now realizing this. So building on this side. There we go. Because I need to make sure that it is the heart of the area. So if that was to run across, that only really connects that one section, which is not a problem. But I don't ultimately think you're going to win. I think the sheer side, I mean, it's not a problem. It is a problem. It is a problem. Right, way too big, right? I think I used the same building going like the full distance of it. Then I use a smaller one here, right? Or is it this one? There we go. I was trying to replicate the other side. It just didn't go to plan, did it? Okay, so that now going across is reasonable for us for allow this city to now grow. You could argue that road's a little bit close, but I'll add the city to kind of then figure out the rest of its network and layout. But that is in the heart of the city, which is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Right, let's do the same over here then. So we need to implement these little buildings. So we'll go for you there, one either side. Now I can squeeze in the smaller ones on the very end if you wanted more connectivity, but I'm not going to worry too much about them. That now going through the middle. And then which track should we make the main line? I reckon we do the outer track. Right, like that. So if I bring this out. Oh, too much slope again. Alright, that seems to work. Bring you to there. To there. Right, there we go. Run this now down. Run this now down. To the, oh, hang on, hold on. I'm taking these way too far. I just realized I'm not running a second line. Literally just realized I'm not running a second line. They just need to be combined. That's all I've got to do. Do a crisscross. Oh, I'm going back into play mode now, by the way. Oi, let me do a crisscross. Full. Right, crisscross activated. And then that needs to run all the way round to here. So I could do something as mental as bending it like that, which theoretically would work out. There's not a problem in me doing that. So I'm going to run this pretty straight, and then at some point the turning will begin. So is that a little bit too close for comfort for this? Maybe. Let me go back a bit. Maintains the 120 through the tree line, which is really nice to see. La-dee-da. Look at those train lines, boys. They look really good. It feels quite realistic, these train lines do, don't they? They do feel quite realistic. And if you want to go anywhere, you're not too far off from a change. Like, if you wanted to go from Hardwick to either one of these towns, you just take a train up to there, switch over to then come straight down. You know, it's really quite easy to do so. If you want to go from Hardwick to Utrecht, straight up to Amsterdam, and then come back down. It makes life very, very, very simple. You want to go from Hardwick to Rotterdam, you can either go all the way up to Amsterdam, utilize the loop that goes straight to Rotterdam. Makes sense, right? It actually really does make sense, this. It really does. So that's the second one there connected. And let me just now push this further past here real quick. There we go. Can I just now combine these? So the city then has the freedom to grow and do what it needs to do, because I've done my train tracks, okay? I've done them. So we've got to get these two now set up, which I much prefer doing the train lines, not so much straight for the middle like I've done here. You know, it is what it is there, but I do like doing them on the outer skirts. That feels a lot better. So if I was to do them on the outskirts here, I would utilize this road in doing so. So if I deleted you, and then building wise, it does feel like it is set back quite a bit. I could make this one maybe a little bit tad longer. Just to give me, because it's on the outskirts, just to give me a little bit more connectivity. So I put the buildings. Right, these buildings are really long. Really long. Oh, no. But I suppose it's all part of the fun. It's all part of the design, as each city feels a little bit different with its station. I'm not sure if that's like a great way to kind of look at it. Is that a little bit OTT? It's like a historic train station now implemented in this vicinity. Right, let me extend the road going out. So these are your crossings here to get round the station. And then this is your directly going through area. Right, there we go. Now, could that be also become a hub? I don't think it will. I'm not too sure, but it has the ability to do so if needs be. Station on the edge, we can use buses to kind of navigate them to where they need to go to. It's not a big deal. It might become a hub. It might be something that kind of allows us to switch in other directions. Who knows? But before I do the train line leading into it, I got to figure out where this station is going to go. Because this is a little bit of a tricky one right now, because it is on a bend. It is on a bend, this whole area. So if I was to delete this road, and let's say I got the road here. Are we on bendy wendy? No. Bend this round into there. And then the road continued. And the road continues there. So that is the perimeter road, which I could probably utilize that for my train stop. So I'm going to delete you and you. I'm going to pause, delete you and you. It will grow back. I got to keep reminding myself and everybody, it will grow back. And we're going to go for a slightly smaller station here. So if I come off that... oh, no, it's going to be really close. I might have to do it here. Unless I did it there. I'm going to... no, actually, I'm going to have to do it here. I will utilize the outer line as the main line. Okay. I will utilize the outer line as the main line. Now, that does feel like it is pretty set back from where the residents live. But again, it's not a problem, because that's where buses and stuff get implemented. Right, so I'm going to have to figure out then the best way to do this. So if I come off 1, 2, 3, 4, if I do a 5, and if I do a 6, right, I'm lining it to the kind of the road is what I've done there. I've lined it to the road. So if I just get this to now bend into the road area here, and then for this, we would bend it directly in, sort out a crisscross, and then do the same here as well. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, 5 and 6 is the line that I want to run on. So bring that into there. So if I just
theoretically ran that straight to about there and then bend this in. That's where my line's going to run. And crisscross there. Right, that is glorious. I've just now got to connect these guys up. So, we have, like I said, we've got 3 lines technically coming into here. Now, one of the lines is going to split to go that way, which I think will be the line that also splits to go this way. So if I bring this a little bit further up, this is going to join onto a line, and then we're going to have a line that completely turns, which I'll utilize. I'll utilize this outer one here. Now we've got to cross in there. Let me just make sure all this goes to plan. So I'm not sure if I'm going to have a secondary line running. I'll have to see for a minute. But that doesn't make sense at the minute. So keep this chugging along. That bend there now works. Keep this going round. Leading in. Right, that works perfect. That's 1 out of 3 lines. Okay. We're going to have another line that runs... It's going to turn to run down here to kind of come into that. So if I had that in my head, that's what it's going to do. So I'm looking at running like this. Okay. I'll keep that as it is, as a reminder of where that train line will eventually end up going. So if I then delete back, how far can I, have I done? Yeah, I've done all that stuff there. So if I delete to there, and is that enough for the bend? Or should I go back by 1 more? Ooh, 1 more is the wrong thing to do, maybe. Is my double switch still there? Yes, it's still there. All right, bring that a little bit closer, then turn it in. So it doesn't maintain the 120, but they will be slowing down to the platform anyway. Plus, they've also got to now merge here as well. So if I went like that to there, there we go. That merges there's the 3 lines coming off that station. 3 came in, 3 go out. You can see how this now works. And then we'll probably make this then turn to go through there and then down to wherever it may go. Wherever it may go, all these lines now split. So that runs there. Don't need to do crisscrosses there because it happens all here. So that's pretty much it. I've got the crisscross there, which is all good. I've just got to figure this out then. So am I allowing us to have a secondary line running through? Would this go all the way to over there? I don't know. For now, I'm going to say no. I'm just going to keep it pretty simple. But there is an air of mystery in this place that we could do something interesting. But I don't know what that's going to be. Also, the construction here is not possible. Let me delete the road. Normally, it's easier to delete the road, place it in, and then put the road back in. So if I just bring both of these here, and just get it past the road, then bring them in. So you have to play to the area. What do you mean could not be possible? Get out of here, fool. Bring that road across. There we go. Magic. Absolute magic. So I'll do the same thing over here as well, just to kind of take care of this area. And then we have the freedom to go ahead and do what we got to do. Right, back into play mode then, because we don't need to worry about anything else now. So I'm going to bring that to there. Fortunately, this side works in our favor a bit more. So we're not stressing. All right, there we go. And then a little crisscross. Really? Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. Right. Very good. Very good. So all those towns I wanted connected at the start are now all connected. I just gotta now make lines go to them. Now, while I've done all that, and while all that's now happened, right, which is real good stuff right now, boys. Now all that has now happened, have all my ships left over here? Let's fast forward for a second. As all the ships left, I think they're all lining up to kind of go in one by one. I'm not quite sure if we've kind of made it yet. We've got a ship jam. But eventually they will be nicely spread out. They will all be nicely spread out. So here, oh, okay, this is a big factor to why we're not allowing them to utilize all the stops. So I can unload and load up 2 at once there, which will get through the backlog a little bit quicker. But apart from that, yes, now we're, I wouldn't say we're evenly spaced, but we're a lot more spaced out than we was before. So we should see a lot more product making its way between the 2 shipping lines. Right, very good. I don't suppose we've actually created any brick yet, have we? No, we've had nothing be delivered yet. Is any of these ships containing stone? I'm waiting to see my first ship containing stone. There we go. It's only there. Okay, we still got a long way to go. We still got a very, 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 very... Oh! I just realised they could carry passengers. I didn't think of that. I did not think of that. That's an interesting one as well. Right, let's sort these lines out then. So, looking at it, we'll first sort out the only line we actually have. We need 3 lines in total, right? So, we'll only sort out the actual line that we have. Actually, we're going to have 3... We need 4 lines, don't we? Yeah. There's going to be 4 lines. So, out of the 4 lines, we only have 1, which is the one that comes into Emma's fruit right now. So, manage this line. When it comes into Emma's fruit fort, we say that it can't utilize all the stops. So, coming in this way. And then after that, we add a station, which will be here. And then here. Now, here... Oh, and then it's got to go back. And then bam. And then bam. That makes sense? I think that makes sense, right? Yeah. So, once it gets here, which is this station there, you can utilize all the platforms. Now, when it's in Venedal, is that how I pronounce Venedal? Is that the only town in the Netherlands right now that I may be pronouncing correct? The jury's still out, boys. The jury is still out. We'll make it go to number 1, which you can do 1 and 2 on the way in. Oh, is that correct to do 1 and 2 on the way in? I haven't done any signals yet, which is my next big problem. I haven't done any signals. Which side of the train tracks are they? They're driving on the... Yes, so that is correct. They just don't crisscross there at the minute. And then on the way back, 4 and 3. Yes. Okay, and then do the same here in Emma's fruit. On the way in, 4 and 3. On the way out, 1 and 2. So let me now just quickly sort out the signals. I can't believe I didn't do the signals. So let me do them where the basic stuff is first required. So that will go there, and that will go there. That would go there, and that would go there. And that would go there. So let me just double check that this line is correct and present. So because I drive on the right-hand side, I make them use the two right-hand side as they see them, the right-hand side platforms available. And on this way back, the two left-hand side. Coming in, two right-hand side, two left-hand side. So it just makes them stay on that one side of the train tracks. I don't know whether it's more efficient or the correct thing to do, but to me, it just kind of makes a little bit more sense. So now all of a sudden, that line goes from Zandam, to Apeldoorn. So we need to now rename it actually to something else. Is it Apeldoorn? Bam. And we only have one train on that, so we will need to come back. Actually, no, I won't come back. I'll do it now. Let's manage the vehicles. And let's duplicate and duplicate. We'll put 3 trains on that line. So where are the trains coming out, by the way? Oh, just here. Perfect. Right, it's a long line, but that will now do exactly what I need it to do. And more trains mean more passengers can be carried. Right, that's the only line that technically existed. So now we're going to create another brand new line. Now, do I have this one actually? So this is interesting. So the line that exists that goes through Amsterdam and Hilversum, which this line is going to do now, that goes to Harderwijk. That needs to come through. We'll go for Hilversum and Amsterdam. Now, if I just made it do that, it doesn't really make much sense, does it? Now, what if I had that line start in Den Haag, go all the way around, and then down? It could alleviate some pressures on the loop, but it also goes to a few more places that that line doesn't go through. Is that way too long? Is it needed? The jury is still out on that one, but where would I make that one go? I could make it just go to Haarlem. It just terminates in Haarlem. So is that extra stage, so you haven't got to crisscross at Amsterdam and so on and so on. I think I'll make it start at Haarlem, and then I'll let you guys decide in the comment section. Should I make that line go all the way to Den Haag? Let me know, guys. Let me know in the comment section down below. But I'll start in Haarlem anyway, because Haarlem's going to be quite big once you start getting the construction, the bricks delivered to it. So start here, which on 3, so we'll utilize... Actually, we can utilize all of them, because it's like the end station, isn't it? Into Amsterdam, which we need to make sure that it's on... Oh, I put it on the wrong side. It's the passenger side, please. 1, 2, and 3. As it comes in here. Hilversum. 1 and 2. Let me make this like pinkish. And then obviously it goes this direction. Which at this moment in time, you can utilize all 4. And then coming back to Hilversum. 4 and 3. Amsterdam. Oh, I put it on the cargo one again. Amsterdam. 4, 5, and 6. And then it will go all the way back to Haarlem. So it just extends. So they share, them 2 lines share 2 stations, Amsterdam and Hilversum. They split to Zaandam and Haarlem, and then split down here. And obviously, this one in Zaandam will maybe go a little bit further. I don't know how far it would go. And that one that stops at Haarlem could go all the way to Den Haag if needed. If needed, boys. So this will be called, just for now then, the Haarlem to Harderwijk. Am I pronouncing it right? Harderwijk? Harderwijk. There we go. And if I got the train here, manage this vehicle, if I duplicated that train, but then put that train on the Haarlem to Harderwijk line, so it is the same train. Is that the right one I've pulled out? Did I do that right? Where's this train? No, I put the wrong train on the wrong line, haven't I? I'm an idiot. I don't know how I've managed that, but I'm an idiot. Right, there we go. One train or two trains? I'll stick with one train to begin with. We'll stick with one train to begin with and see how that goes. So that is now, those lines now extended. Now we got to create two brand new lines. One from Rotterdam that would go all the way to Veenendaal down to Arnhem. Or does it? Or would that be the line that from Rotterdam that turns to go this way? Because it's on the outer side. I think it might. Which would then mean my Rotterdam would only go back and forth just to here because I don't have that station unless I implement that station now. Right, let's actually start over here first. New line. Amsterdam. So making sure it's on the correct side. So it's in, put it on 1. It can go 1, 2, and 3. I'll make it a darkish purple. There we go. All the way down to here. Which will go on number 3 and 4. All the way down to here. Which it will be on 1 and 2. Which it will then end up here. Which you can do all 4 of them. Then heading back. It does. So when he came into here, he did 1. So this will be 3 and 4. And then heading up this way, same again. Amersfoort. No, wait, it didn't go to Amersfoort, did it? No, it didn't. No, where am I going? Let's go back up to here. Utrecht. 1 and 2. And then it heads all the way back up to Amsterdam. Which actually, Amsterdam, we could theoretically get to utilize all of them. Because it is the end station. Now, looking at that, I might go a little bit brighter. I might go... No, it's too bright. We'll go for that pink. So you can see it different between the two contrasting colours. So that's from Amsterdam all the way down to here. That works out really well. So this will be our Amsterdam to Arnhem. To Arnhem. Easy enough. Now, if I get that line that went to here, manage it, and clone a train, I think the issue was I didn't pick the train after. And put it on there. We'll put one train on, and just until I can see what the demands are going to be like. So that line has that brand new train on it. Right, very good. Very good. Now, I don't think I've done all the signals around here, so let me just quickly throw these in. They're all in. Yeah. I haven't done them perfectly. I haven't done, like, middle signals either. So, I've got to implement all this stuff. So, you go there. I've just done, like, the basics. You know what I mean? I haven't even done it over here, have I? So I haven't done... I've done the basics is what I'm trying to say. I've done the basics. So if I implemented auto-sig, and if I, for example, put you there, and then you there, that drops some auto-signals in. Is this just being lazy right now, use an auto-sig? Right, has that done it? Yeah. Hasn't done it everywhere, but it does it where I need it, where it's important. Right, I'm turning auto-sig off now. Right, one there and there. I need to do some here as well. and there and there. I'll do one last one there and there. So they're just the new lines that I've created that I need to add them on. Good. So the line that I'm now missing is the line coming down from Rotterdam. We need that to extend going all the way down in that section. So the question would be, I want it to then turn off to go this way. So I would actually physically need to create the station, wouldn't I? I would need to create it. But then coming off that would go in different directions, like one to Eindhoven, and then maybe one going, I mean, towards, you could argue, Germany. But then that line might, no, it could, yes. So if I set up a station here just after this, and it would be quite important, this station, so the positioning of it needs to be perfect. So if I pause while I just delete a lot of things around here, if I delete you and you, and get my road now. So am I on Bendy Road? No, I am now. So if that kind of bendy-wendied slightly like that, and then trains, if I went super long, I think if this road here went to there, and that bent round, if I then deleted you, you. Right, this is going to be a bit awkward. But if I had my station here, if I had the station there, it's a very awkward situation, this town, okay? Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get it to kind of come in, but then split this left and that going straight ahead. So, theoretically, if I had this going straight, right, like that, this would also need to a certain degree, run with it for me to do my double slips. But I think after that point there, can I do a double slip here? Is that enough space to do double slippy slips? It is. All right, get right into that. So double slips take place there, which then allow this one the ability to turn, and off it goes. Okay? Whereas that is going to run all the way down to Eindhoven. So, look at me, boys. I'm using M&N. Look at me now. Look at me go. You proud of me now? You proud of me? All right. Like that instead. Now, I don't know whether it might make a bit more sense to delete you, to build that train track. Like that. So the gradient is built in within it. You see what I mean? And then if I come off this, like that. Right, that would work. Right, there we go. This doesn't need to have double lanes. So this just switches in. Like that. Oh, what's going on here? So I'll have to do the crisscross on the bridge, right? Which works. So then that becomes a transfer hub there. Or it just uses the same line coming in. Unless I bulked this up with 2 lines going all the way into that. But it doesn't need to. It doesn't need to. It does what it needs to do. So I haven't really finalized. Put it back into play mode now. I haven't really finalized a lot of these stations. I've done this one. Roads both sides. It's already started to get buildings on there. This one is connecting both sides. This one's connected both sides. What's not connected both sides? This one's not. So let me just add in my stations now. And then add me road in. I'm not particularly too sure how to run this because it's on a bend. I can't get that to come across. Nor can I get that to come across. So I've kind of lost... Oh no, I can get that to come across. Right, bring that to there. But bulldoze that section. Now, if I had that road... Oh, that's a shame that road can't come all the way through. Right, there's got to be something here I can do. I can have a connection here. Right, let me go straight on this. I can have a connection there, but it does slightly throw us all off. But that's part of the fun of that town. So that works. So it can grow further past the station. This is going to be an interesting one because the way it's situated. It's not your stereotypical layout. But it is also well positioned to be quite an important station. So if I just first initially get that to run going down. Oh, that that goes for the platform. Right, so I could theoretically have you come through there. So if I deleted you... Now, what if that... Pause. Replaced this road? So what if this road here came down and then was the road that connected to there? You would be coming in here. You would be coming in there. And then you would be coming in just there. Now all of a sudden, it's more connected. Not perfect, but more connected. Right, I need the smoothie tool. Smoothie. And there was somewhere else I need to do some smoothie as well, wasn't there? There was down here, obviously. Not too much. But just around, mainly around the station where it leads to the road so we can actually build upon the area. And then, of course, leading down all of here. Let me just do around the station here as well. Pushing further up here. Because there's some areas there where it's a bit OTT. Right, I need to do the signals. Okay. So just there. And then signals will be here and here for this. I'll do a signal set just there. I'll do a signal set just here. So the brand new line from Rotterdam can now make its way all the way down. Which in reality, I could also create a Rotterdam loop. But that's a bit too much, okay? There will be other lines that do turn off and go in other directions, but this is where I kind of want it to run mainly at the moment. So a brand new line here. So in Rotterdam, I'll make them able to utilize all the stops because that's where it's going to begin. And then coming down, so its first stop would actually be in Veenendaal, which for us is 1 and 2, right? Yeah. So it's only a 3-stop station, 3-stop line, sorry. Interestingly, but it's very important because it crisscrosses a bunch of people over, which will be set up for next episode, where they're able to get to Rotterdam, which is really important for next episode, like I said, as we're going to be bringing goods over here. So it does make that line very important, and it allows us now to get a bunch of lines that crisscross over to it as well. And Veenendaal is going to be a really, really important transport hub at the same time. So we will connect these cities eventually up all by themselves to the roads and whatnot. Let me just grab a line here, manage vehicles, and just quickly duplicate a train to grab that train to pull it on our line 1, which I've now got to rename it. So line 1, which is our Rotterdam to is it Nij? I can't. How do I pronounce that? I'm not too sure. Nijmegen? Any Dutchies out there right now that can help me with the pronunciations of that town name? Also, someone told me as well that Zandvoort is not spelt correctly in the game. Now, I didn't name it, okay? It's Zandvoort here, but it's meant to be Zandvoort. I should know that because I watch Formula 1 and that's where the Dutch Grand Prix is. I should have known that, boys. I should have known that right now. Right, the lines are now all set up, which is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. More interconnectivity than we've ever seen before. And we'll give it time to see where the demands are and where we need to add more trains to the lines. Now, there's a lot of cargo here already for the shipping, which is good to see. These ships are going to be coming in to pick up some goods. Where's the last ship that left? It is... Where is it? It is going all the way up there, which has nothing on board yet. This has actually produced some brick, which we're now going to get delivered. I don't suppose any of these contain brick, unless for the first time ever we just got brick delivered. Maybe that's what it is. But we're about to see this train right now. I'm going to assume... No, it has delivered brick beforehand. So which is the ship that has it on then? There's a ship here somewhere that has brick on. And I don't know, unless it's really still early. I'm not too sure. It's hard to tell. But that train's coming in right now to drop off some brick for one of these ships to now pick up. So it drops it off. There's brick on the platform. And what do you pick up? There we go. You picked up some brick as well. Nice. So eventually, Haarlem will get its brick. Nice. So there we go. More interconnectivity than ever before, guys. You're going to have to see next episode to see what the demands are going to be like. But until next time, I'll see you all soon. So goodbye.